Good afternoon, people, and welcome back to DR Sports for another edition of the Weekend Roundup Show, hosted by myself, AGT. To my right, we've got the head honcho, the king of LL Sports TV.
I had to give myself a little
chain.
plug.
It's Laurie in the building.
I like the chain.
Is it the better half of the Lyle brothers?
Big chaps.
We'll find out after this show. To my left, the brilliant as ever Abbi and Flex. Big up to them in the building as well. You
brilliant as ever.
And
She's
just
the
you.
brilliant as
And
ever.
just
To be
Like
fair,
as if to say
just
she's
you.
always brilliant.
I
That's a
am.
mad
MVP
shout.
of the week,
Listen,
2 weeks
thank
in a row.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's not
That's what you
forget
need to be
that.
respecting.
sounding-
And current sausage of the
There
week.
you go.
Sounding
That's
bitter.
remember your status on the
It's
show.
sounding
You're not always
bitter.
brilliant.
Don't
You're the
be
sausage of the
bitter.
week.
No, you build
Don't
them
be
up, don't
bitter.
you? And then
Consistent
Be
MV.
better.
break the,
Be
Consistent
better.
MVPs, mate.
she's
Be
gone
better.
aggressive
Consistent
already.
Be
MVPs, mate.
better.
So,
Super early this
like
time.
AGT would say, speaks for itself, doesn't
It
it?
does. It speaks
You're getting better. You're getting better.
It
You're
speaks for
getting
itself.
better.
You've got energy today. Had a
Big
good
up.
night's sleep,
How
yeah?
are we all?
I'm all right, man.
Started early today, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Started.
Yeah. I've had a pretty
were you
eventful
last night?
weekend. Bounty!
Jeez!
Bounty! For those who know. Flex knows. All of you know, man.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I was at a
Little
concert
drink.
last night. Bounty Killer for the first time, I think it was 18 years or
Long
something.
time since he's been there. Yeah.
Yeah, Bounty, Beanie Man and Baby Sham at Wembley Arena.
Nice.
That's it, man. Really good concert.
Good. You have a good time?
Yeah, very good time. A lot of people coming up, showing love to
Jeez.
the
LL
channels.
Sports TV subscribers.
Yeah, they're asking me a lot of questions about football, about boxing, everything, man.
One to
Must
boy
have had a long
Tyson.
day
Man.
yesterday with the fight and then that at night. Big up to you.
Did you
Commitment.
say fight? Did you say fight? What fight
Well,
is
it
that?
wasn't really
Oh,
a fight. And
don't
if you want to hear more of that, go over to DR Sports and LL Sports. But good to have you on.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Robbie, Dubai, has a go. International break, off he goes.
Imagine
Off
that.
and
Who would
Leaves
do
us
that?
here. Yeah.
So
no.
weird. Who would do that?
Crazy,
Just jet
man.
off on holiday in the international
It's
break.
crazy.
Not
No,
me.
definitely not
Not
me.
me.
Don't
No, no.
rise.
Not me.
You have a good weekend, guys?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I went to the Cube, man.
Yeah.
Sick. If you haven't done it,
Shout
do
out
it.
the Cube.
Shout out the
Shout out
Cube
the
if they
Cube.
want to. If they want to, any more
Send us
promotion
down
and stuff.
there.
The Cube, excellent. Canary Wharf, one in Manchester as well, but yeah, and I won. So
Did you?
yeah, haven't put the video.
That's
out.
AGT, that is.
Yeah.
That
Very.
little
Got to bounce the
Yeah.
balls off the thing. Maximum points. Simplify. No.
You play against other people?
Well,
Bud,
yeah.
Flex.
Or like in your
One.
group?
Yeah, in your group.
Oh,
going
okay.
forwards.
Yeah. we
Very
should,
good, very good.
We should go.
No, we'll
Very
go
good.
down
We
there.
should go.
We'll go down there.
Yeah.
Right, let's jump into this show then. A couple super chats to get us started. Remember to like the video, get your comments in, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget, this video, we'll start that one again. This video is brought to you by FairPlay. As we know, the jackpot is building up for this weekend. It's going to be a very big pot that allows you to hold your friends accountable for all their dodgy footballing opinions. To be fair, so far on this game, I've pretty much been the worst. But fair play, as we know, with the jackpot sevens, there's a chance to predict the Premier League results. And if you get them all right, you're walking home with £700,000 in cash. Whilst no one has taken home the 700k yet, a minimum prize pot of £500 is split between the top 5 placed entries each game week. As you already know, Flex did take home a whopping £549.50, was it?
Correct.
Last week, so big up to you for that.
Yet
But the
to-
more
yet to see
players
the
that
meal deal or
join,
the
the
coffee.
bigger the prize pool is,
heating, mate.
right? And it's open now. It's been open for the last week. It's open today, and you can update your predictions all the way up till Saturday. It will be officially the biggest weekly prize pot we've had so far. So get researching, right? Get the old Racing Post out, see the old results, and really invest.
Racing
Oh, it's so old school.
Harry Redknapp said.
That's real old school. that.
So if you want to play along with us, download FairPlay app, Jackpot Sevens, enter your prediction for the game week. And if you are one of the 5 lucky winners, like Flex was last week, you'll be the envy of your friendship group. £5
Also, it's not
to
luck,
enter.
it's skill. Got no balls.
Yeah, it's knowledge.
Literally
It's knowledge.
pure luck.
So,
Weekly
it's not pure
prize
luck.
pot
Pure
increases
luck.
the more people that enter.
It's
So
not
big
pure
up.
luck.
How can
luck.
it be pure luck if you've
fair
got to?
play.
If
Pure
you've got
luck.
to look at the games and analyse
No,
what
that's
you think,
not luck.
that's not pure
That's not
luck.
luck.
It's luck.
Pure luck is a lottery number.
It's luck.
Yeah.
What are you
luck.
talking about?
luck.
Hate. You see what hate does?
Luck.
You see hate.
You weren't even
Envy,
here.
jealousy.
You weren't
haven't even
here.
played, Laurie,
You weren't
and we're
even
getting
here.
this.
It shouldn't have
This is
even
mad.
been. Shouldn't even been allowed.
Hating on my MVP awards, hating on my
Because
winnings.
you just weren't MVP. I think we
hating.
all knew you weren't MVP last week.
So-
You
So
even.
you're calling all the
knew
liars.
that.
So you're
calling all
calling
liars.
the
You even
audience.
knew.
So the audience.
I think
stare
they're
show.
misled.
Oh,
They've
okay.
been misled.
Right then, tell you someone else who might be misled. Ruben Amorim. The saga begins. Flex isn't happy with
Absolutely
the titling,
not.
by the way. He's called out production for the use of the word saga.
They're trying it.
Right?
If anything, the saga was Eric Ten Hag and it came to an end.
I
Now
agree.
it's the beginning of a new era. So I don't know where this saga thing's coming on, but if they want to call
It's
it
a
that,
Man
then
United saga, though, isn't it? Overall.
It's just
Never
an ongoing
ending.
saga, bro.
Never-ending
Never-ending
saga.
I do get it.
Okay.
Era is probably a bit more appropriate. But Man United saga is definitely in play.
Era sounds fresher. Saga sounds longer.
Saga just sounds better for you lot because it sounds like more chaos. That's what it is.
Sounds like a proper
So-
mainstream media thing.
Yeah.
Why is it
So
getting your,
that's
why is it getting your
fine,
back up though so much?
It's not. You just asked me, so I thought I'd answer. I'm not be rude.
I just,
Should I have been rude and not answered?
no, not at
Like
all.
what
It's
you
just we were
did?
talking about it before and you already made a
Honestly,
complaint.
I can't wait for Tottenham Man United because that needs to come round again. I know you slumped them already, but it needs to come round again.
Hold that.
'Cause
Managers
these
weren't
two,
there,
Hold
even
that.
during the
Managers.
international break, there's been no club games, and Nations
Nothing.
League is getting you rattled like this. It's crazy. Right, super chats. Clara Bitsy, AGT. What do you trust more, Trent leaving Liverpool at the end of the season, or your girlfriend's knowledge about Liverpool Football Club? It's probably Trent leaving Liverpool, if I'm honest. As you've seen on the easy question quiz that I did for her. Unbelievable how it just goes straight over her head. Just has it in one ear, out the other.
What was it
She
you
probably,
asked?
it's selective hearing though. Women do that, don't they? I come in.
Paul careful.
It's
mate.
sexist.
No, she does that to me. She does that.
I have
'Cause
to
I'll
think
come
that
in.
That would
Jason told me
actually-
to
Trent
behave.
scored, blah blah, and she goes, "Oh yeah, great." She doesn't really
Yeah, she's
hear
not
it. She doesn't
taking it in.
want to
You-
hear
yeah,
it.
but-
I
Say
do it
yes
as
and
well,
you
though.
scored, she's
I
like,
do it
okay.
as well.
Yeah, but you do waffle a lot.
Fair enough.
You
So
do.
10% stays in.
Like she's
Yeah.
probably so bored of it. She's probably like, yeah, great.
All right. Bloody hell.
Anyway.
No, but big up. But yes, Trent leaving would probably be more certain than Tegan.
Looks quite
winning the
certain,
quiz.
though.
He's gone.
He's got to get through them. Tanish. Weghorst, undisputed contender for sausage of the week. True.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
know
I
if you
saw
saw
that.
what
Yeah.
happened in the game.
Tone deaf.
One of the playing or the coaching staff on the Hungary team collapsed. Game was delayed for about 15 minutes. Comes back out. They look at the VAR. The Netherlands get a pen. Weghorst puts it down, slots it, and does a big knee slide. And it's like,
Oh, he didn't, did he?
you got to read
Yeah,
the
he
room a
did.
bit, fella.
Because goals are few and far between for him. So he
And
just-
then they got a penalty in the latter stages of the first half, and Gakpo was like, "No, mate, I'm taking it," and just scored and did a little thing. Bentancur gets that ban today, doesn't he?
Did it actually? Is that
ban,
definitely happening?
100,000
£7
pounds.
Yeah.
Erkan from Turkey says against Son. Yeah, I mean, we're reacting to that pretty much as it's just happened this morning, but that's a huge precedent set
What
there.
happened?
I think the first thing people are going to do is draw.
That's the
But
Suarez.
it's-
That's what
Hold on a minute.
Suarez got, I think.
So-
8
No,
games.
no.
8 games.
No, he didn't.
Enzo Fernandez just came back,
Yeah.
innit?
Well, yeah. So
He
that's.
just like
I think.
there was no ban.
Don't get me wrong.
Cavani
Like,
got banned once for doing that. Like, that was a cultural.
The reason
difference.
why
Cavani
the
did.
reason why there was the difference was because of he wasn't officially released by Tottenham.
no, it was the
Sorry, the Chelsea player. wasn't it?
Enzo Fernandez was on international duty,
Yeah.
so the FA don't have jurisdiction
Oh
over
right,
that.
yeah, would be UEFA.
Yeah.
Or FIFA, sorry.
But
What
because
did Benton call it? Where was he? Was it a Tottenham game?
it was, I think
It was on international.
It was on international.
duty. It was a very
No,
like.
it can't have been.
He was in a box. Was he
think it
holding?
was
I thought it was
he
on-
was in a
duty,
box
bro.
or something. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well,
Like,
whatever it was,
off-duty kind of.
whatever it was, is that
It wasn't
like
an official media outlet.
No, don't get me wrong. Like the comment was not great, and it was dealt with. I
No,
think
it's a racist
internally.
comment,
It was dealt with internally. But I think that in terms of the length of the ban compared to something like Enzo Fernandez, who just got absolutely nothing,
Yeah,
like
that was the
a
difference.
slap on the wrist, and then
Yeah.
actually got given like
And he was singing songs on purpose.
yeah, like I just don't think that necessarily
proud,
it's
yeah.
particularly a fair
But how will that-
thing. But
will-
it
how
is
will
what it
that-
is.
I mean, he's been okay this season.
Yeah, he's played quite a lot for us.
7
It's
games.
frustrating. It definitely is frustrating from a standpoint. But he said what he said, and he's been punished. What we
What's
meant
the
to
What
do.
did you-
The fan
what
base
did you
going
think
mad
of-
about it was more like a. What,
I haven't really looked at it this morning.
What did you
I think
think of
it's
Son's reaction?
Well, it was dealt with. You know, that's between them, and
No,
it
I
was
was
dealt
interested
with.
because I heard
and-
an interview from Son saying that he totally forgives.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Bentancur.
I-
said
I-
that he
I think-
loves him and stuff like
yeah.
that.
So I think that was dealt with inside. I think it maybe it could have been left there, like potentially.
Do-
But then obviously they're trying to make a point of it, which is fine. I just think maybe the length of it was maybe a little bit.
A lot of people saying a fine would have been sufficient.
Yeah, I
just to
agree.
say-
I think 7 games is quite.
That's excessive. It happened to Cavani. Cavani
Extreme.
got a. Someone
Oh, that was
correct
a
me in the
one-game
chat.
ban. That was
Was
a
it one
one-game.
game? I think it was one game. And even that, it was important to highlight it and highlight the cultural differences of you come from here, you come from here. We have to find a common way of what's acceptable here. Which
Can
is
I,
fine.
can I just
It's all
take
about
Abby up on
education,
something
but
though?
that's crazy.
And you as well, because I do think that 7 game, he was on the lower end of the scale. I
excessive.
think he absolutely deserves all of that because what you got to remember, it's all right for Son. And listen, Son was very effusive in his defence of Bentancur because he knows him, the teammates. He said, I love him and all that. However, there's a wider issue. It's not just Son that's offended or potentially offended. It's all the people from that demographic.
I'd even
which
go
is why it needs addressing.
Yeah, and I feel like it had been addressed. I know, and it should be addressed. I feel like even if they would have said, okay, you've got a 1-match ban or a 2-match ban, you know, I think
7's excessive.
I would have been like, yeah, fine, fair enough, whatever, and a fine. But I think 7 is quite an excessive punishment when you look at the Enzo Fernandez situation, other various situations that have gone on in football.
Garnacho did one to Onana as well when he used the monkey emoji in jest of like saying Onana is powerful, like he's strong. Like, but
I
again,
remember me and you had a conversation
exactly.
about that because
and
you were saying that, come on, Onana didn't take offence to it.
That, but you're right about the
but
wide
I took offence to that.
Of why, exactly.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's going to
my one thing would be, as in, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen again in anything because you don't want to see any type of comments like that made. But let's say if it did happen again, I would assume that the same punishment would then be carried out for everyone.
100%.
So
100%. I agree.
I don't want to see if this happens again, someone gets a 3-match ban or just gets
You
a
wanna
heavy
see
fine.
consistency.
You want to see consistency,
Yeah,
which is what we always talk about in football, isn't it? Whether that's
100%.
refereeing or punishments, etc. But yeah, I guess, you know, I think if he's got a punishment, he has to hold it.
Yep. Moving on. What have we got here? AGT has been robbed of an MVP. To be fair, says Sai.
Probably
Was
should
that
have been him.
1% last week that I missed out on.
How more people vote then.
We'll see what happens this week, though, towards the end of the show. And we'll be putting the poll up for sausage.
Rattled
But you need to
town.
allow us to marinate into the show before you start calling people sausages. You need to give us a
Sometimes
chance
you
to be
don't.
a
Sometimes
sausage.
you gotta go
You know what I mean? Blaze A says, I hope we've had the Amorim clips ready for later. It's going to be a tough start for him against Ipswich. Big up AGT, says Subita. Hope we win the league, but the best moment so far is Flex rapping in the Jamaican accent. I've probably watched it 200 times. You should have seen him just before we started the
You
show.
should have.
Honestly, if that was filmed, I think it would have gone viral, to be fair.
Break
But,
the internet.
New tune. Your
Bare
life
bleeps.
in. Shout it out then. What's the tune
Nah,
called?
it's not
It's probably not.
Name, it's not really.
Probably not the time.
Massacre,
No,
though. If
big
you
up.
like Massacre, he's got a new tune. I'll just say that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not gonna say
Do
what
it like
is.
that instead, yeah. Right, coming up, we're talking about England being promoted to the Nations League A.
Oh, yeah, we're back. Yeah, we
We're
are.
back.
We can play
Happy
against
with
the
that?
big boy teams
big
now.
boys.
So back.
We're also talking about Ben White opening his, return to England potentially in the next
Is it?
international break in March. We haven't got a break till March. Let's have a round of
open to
applause.
it.
Yeah, I love that.
4 months of Barclays, UEFA, some FIFA,
Maybe
and FA.
maybe Spurs can stop losing now.
Oh, for 4 months and no break.
That'll be nice.
Mind you, I'm going
there.
to go against the grain a little
Oh,
bit.
don't be that
hold on.
guy.
You
I
can't
don't mind the international
Why?
break because I do like watching international football. I went
What,
to-
these dead games?
they're dead,
Dead
Laurie.
Nations League and that.
No, listen, man. I went to the game against Greece at Wembley when we lost.
you enjoyed that, did you?
No, I didn't enjoy it.
I want to see more of this.
No, but what I'm
Can't see
saying
him.
is I do appreciate those games. I did go to the game. We lost against Greece. We were very poor. We did beat them in the return fixture. I watched the game yesterday. I thought England were really good in the second half, especially.
It helps when you're down to 10 minutes. doesn't it?
Yeah, lots of good stuff to come up, including some other results as well. But yeah, as you said, England get promoted. Win against Greece, quite convincing in the end, and obviously a massively convincing win against Ireland last night. Saw England get promoted back to the A-League. They avoided a playoff in March as well as they topped the group. When you're looking at some of the players, Flex, that Carsley's brought through, right? Gomez, Gibbs-White, Curtis Jones, who have all been given their debuts. Taylor, Bellis as well.
Yeah.
And there's more, Bowen getting his first goal last night and etc. like that. He's given 8 players their England debut. Tuchel's going to come in now. Is there going to be some kind of handover period where he goes, okay, out of these new lads that you tested out away from the shoe-ins that would get in the squad, who should I bring forward with me? Who should I maybe leave behind? Do you think they're actually going to discuss this going forward? Because the next game is Tuchel now.
I don't think that they're going to get as much opportunity as we think. I think Tuchel's here for this short period, for 18 months, to make sure he guarantees qualification into the World Cup and then wins it.
Yeah.
So it's
Easy
as
job
simple
then,
as that.
really.
Exactly. The hardest thing to do is we haven't done it since
Get it
anything
and
since
win it.
'66. But I don't think Tuchel is the sort of man and the sort of manager, especially with how he's been appointed on the short-term nature that he's been appointed, to start really taking a deep dive into the England ecosystem to really unearth the gems, especially in that short time. I just don't think he's going to do it. I think actually what will happen, and you lot let me know what you think about this. Of course, there has to be an element of some form, but I could see Tuchel going to like some like name brand guys who ain't even been around for it. Someone like Rashford, like someone like if Foden's not playing good, it'd still be in and around it. He loves Mason Mount. If Mason Mount can, you just don't know these types of things. I think he's more likely to go to like tried and tested big boy players. No offense, than like see what Harwood Bellis is saying, see what Morgan Gibbs White's saying, see what Morgan Rogers is saying. And we're already and if you look at them areas, it's so difficult. I mean, someone like Morgan Rogers, right, for example, look how good of a player he is. This is his first season at this level. He's playing at the highest level. He's doing really, really well. When it comes down to it, to the World Cup, things can change quickly in international football. I get it, but is Tuchel more likely to go towards, you know, the Bellinghams, the Fodens, the Palmers in those central areas over someone like that? I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying I think there will be a lot more dead certs of the more name brand players who have been playing rather than shelling out a load of debuts or building on the debuts we've just seen under Lee Carsley personally.
Thing is though, that would echo a lot of like kind of what Southgate did. You know, maybe actually in the last one you could say there was a little bit more leniency where he didn't take the likes of someone like Jordan Henderson, for example. But you want to have a manager, even if he's there for 6 months, you want to have a manager that is going to try and build the best team possible. So
but I don't think he's looking for the future though. He's gonna try and build the best team just for that.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to necessarily bring through more talent. Like he doesn't necessarily need to do that. But calling someone, for example, like you mentioned, Marcus Rashford, back up. I mean, what would be the point of that? Why? That's just going.
I agree. I don't think
that to me, that's just going backwards. Mason Mount, he might have a brilliant rest of the season under Amorim potentially, and then maybe it would warrant it. But like, you can't just call up someone that you've worked with.
Does if Rashford. And
well,
I agree.
He has to be then put. But then he has to.
Calvin Phillips.
But then he has to be put in the conversation based on merit.
Like him. Conor Gallagher might be back in.
But then he has to be back in you know, in contention based on merit and based on what he's doing, not just because you've worked with those players before, you've worked with Mount and you remember what he was like at your time at Chelsea. Can't be based on that. So I think there is enough talent there. Whether or not he wants to chop and change and stuff with the pool of talent he's already seen, or if there's, I probably agree with you. I don't think he's going to necessarily want to like nurture and bring talent through. But I think there's enough talent there to say, well, okay, if for example Jared Bowen is a better fit for my system and you know going to be a better performer than someone else, then utilise the players that you already do have. Don't necessarily call up someone for a nostalgic reason. Because what would be the point of that? That goes back to full on, you know, what we had under Southgate. That's what we were all moaning about.
That's true. You make a very good point. So 3-0
I think his remit is clear. He's been brought in to win the World Cup.
He ain't come to play, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think you're right about in terms of you know, bringing through younger players, as it were. That's not what he's going to be particularly looking at. However, I think what the recent international break has shown is that there is a lot of young players. Listen, I think we got an embarrassment of riches in terms of talent in this country, 100%. And I think it's quite exciting.
Ollie Watkins with the goal, Madueke assist. There was that own goal from the goalie after that shot from Bellingham. Then Curtis Jones.
Own goal from the goalie? What, for Ireland?
No, for the Greece game I'm talking about.
Oh, the Greece game. I was going to say it.
Hit the post, keeper, went back in. Curtis Jones' goal. We must chat about that.
Why
surely.
That? Must we? Why?
Debut. It's impressive.
Well, go on then. Have you been in?
Yeah, but there's a load of England players.
He was very, very good.
The way he carried it, see the little flip
very
flap
good.
in the middle of the pitch.
Very good. He's an incredible footballer, you know.
I've been saying
not you.
We're
not going to talk to you. Now. But he is. He's deserving his flowers. He's playing more regularly in your team. What I like about him is his versatility. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I like him. He can play as a 10. He can play as an 8. He plays as a 6. He's just comfortable in various phases of midfield. He can take the ball well. He puts in a shift. He can get about the pitch. He's not afraid to put a foot in. Can finish well. Good, decent goal against Chelsea. He's technically sound. Like I just like him as a footballer. He's a good footballer.
Silky
very good footballer.
So yeah, 3-0 after Greece not losing at home for such a long time was impressive.
What was interesting about that result, though, as I said, I went to the corresponding fixture.
Simicast almost
when. Right, can we put the Liverpool thing to one side?
Yeah, no, go on. All you big dogs.
Good save from Pickford.
So as I was saying, back in October, I went to the corresponding fixture.
Can't help himself.
And Lee Carsley, I called him Car Crash Carsey on that occasion. He got everything wrong.
Yeah.
So what that game showed when we beat them away 3-0 is that it's just a simple equation, really. Managers need to just, if you play the right players in the right position, you get the results that you should get.
100%.
When you tinker around like what he did in October,
when
playing
he
a
played
forward,
all
playing
played
back,
everyone,
you get what you deserve. When you don't respect the opposition, start tinkering around, you get it. When you play the right players in the right position, predominantly you get the results that you should get.
100%. First win at Wembley in 2024 last night for England against Ireland. No Saka, Foden, Palmer. Obviously, a lot of big names were missing. I mean, it was pretty close, to be fair, up until the first goal. I think Ireland maybe could have had a penalty on Ferguson, Gahey on Ferguson in the first half. They rode it out a bit. Was definite penalty, and after that, England just took it away from Ireland, didn't they? Within 6 minutes, it was 3-0. And as you say, Bowen getting the goal, first goal for England, Anthony Gordon as well, Bellis as well. It was a good run out and an impressive scoreline, to be fair.
Even the penalty, I've got to say, that was a brilliant ball by Harry Kane. Bellingham, lovely little sidestep. Keeper brings him down, penalty sent off. But England, especially in the second half, are very impressive.
It's just, I hate to just, not the party people, but it's like, it's good for them individuals. Like Harwood Bellis getting called up, unbelievable. Like, you know, his family's going to be happy, and Roy Keane. Roy Keane's going to be happy. You know, gets a score on his debut, unbelievable. And for those players who haven't maybe had the chance to play for England, means the world to them. But for us as England fans, about what we're learning about that team and stuff, we're taking nothing from this. Like apart from,
I disagree. We are,
Laurie. We're learning that, you know, there's a few young players that's nice.
That is what you're, we knew that already.
That's what you're learning.
We're in the second phase of the Nations League where we shouldn't have been in it anyway. No one even cares about the Nations League.
But will some of those people that have been called up feature if it was a competitive, like not being disrespectful, but a proper competitive game?
It's not going to happen. That's why half of these men are dropping out, because there's too many games. They don't care about it. Lee Carsey's on his way out. It's his last game, so don't really care what you do, mate. It's all about Tuchel from here on out.
No, but
and when it comes to the World Cup qualifiers,
you were just talking very favourably about Curtis Jones in an England shirt.
Yeah, because he's deserved it.
So games like yesterday shows you that he's there.
The overall picture. I'm not saying there's zero pluses.
Not get into the team then?
No, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is that the overall, like, what are we learning from the minerals of these players? What we learn, we're not really. We're learning that a couple of men like can get in, no problem. I get that, but like the guy who's actually going to take us forward with his plan, with his formation, with his style, he's not even here yet. Lee Carsey's just on some, like, just see it out. Maybe give out a couple of caps to the younger players because there's not loads riding on this, and give them their moment. But now we wait for Tuchel to come in. Where's his first game's not even until March. Like.
No, but I'm pretty sure Tuchel, who's a very astute guy, very meticulous, he will be aware of what's going on. I'm absolutely sure.
You'd hope.
Yeah, but he was that aware that he said that Nations League team. I ain't even come into this qualifiers, man. But no, Lee Carsey, you man do that.
No, but what I'm saying, guys like Curtis
that's basically how I saw it, isn't it? Why is he not there before?
Well, because the qualification, because he's only really bothered about the qualification, really, and that's what he's bothered about.
Boy game.
He's like, I'll take over in Jan because that's when it really matters.
That's when it matters.
But that is true.
You man do that.
I think there is pros and cons to obviously having, like, don't get me wrong, I don't love international football. Like, I like it when we're fully in a tournament. I'm in it in a tournament. In terms of like everything else in the lead up, I'm not that bothered. I'm not that invested.
We always get through qualifiers.
Yeah.
We always get out the group.
We
ain't going to know about the minerals until we get to America.
Of the Premier
I
League.
will hold my hands up.
Abbi,
and I will
say that you're looking down on
holiday.
Looking down on what? The Nations League?
Yeah. You're looking down at it because you think, I can't wait for this to be over so the Premier League can start.
No.
But I think most people are doing that.
I'm talking about the fact that England, in terms of like, am I bothered about Group B in the Nations League? No, like I'm not.
I hear that.
Not massively, no, but I'd be probably a bit more inclined to watch it if England were already in Group A. Like, I'm not massively bothered about it. Yes, when we get to qualifiers for the World Cup or for the Euros, yes, I'm fully locked into that. But like, am I really bothered about watching the games that have been on the last couple of days?
No, I was more focusing on the aspect of emerging players coming through.
And that is what the good thing is. Yeah. It's basically like having a pre-season friendly. That's basically how I've looked at these games.
They're glorified friendlies, these nations.
That's what they are.
Speaking of players coming through, though.
Go on.
There's a lot of wingers available to England. There was a TalkSport post put out saying, Adrian Durham said Saka should be warned of losing his place to Madueke. Obviously, got another assist last night. Would be seen as serious competition. Who are the best England wingers at the minute? And there's just, I mean, you're not even mentioning Sancho or Sterling or Rashford, Grealish. They're like the four that maybe Southgate trusted. And now you've got Bowen, Madueke,
and this is exactly what
Foden
I'm saying.
can play on the left or right as well. But there's just a plethora I mean, how do you pick?
Plethora. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
so-
that.
A lot. There's a lot of them.
Well, again, you have to. It doesn't. You don't
Thesaurus gang.
necessarily just have to have one particular player. This is the beauty of having so much talent, which England do have, and having the best team for the game that's in front of you, and that's having a good manager who is tactically astute and wants to pick the best team rather than just still putting the same players out there week in, week out. When you have the luxury of being able to chop and change, if you think Madueke is going to be better in one game, Bowen, Saka, Rashford, whatever.
Yep.
I'll give you an example. So Anthony Gordon, who was ludicrously overlooked by Southgate, he played really well yesterday.
He's been
he
playing
announced
really well.
himself. So what I'm saying, games like yesterday, yes, okay, the likes of us who follow the bigger
I didn't
teams
even mention
in the Premier
Gordon.
League, looking forward to the Premier League starting.
Eze.
They see the international stuff as a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah.
However, if you're just looking at England, you think, you know what, this guy is showing me that he could have a future under Tuchel. It's good.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, on that question, let's not. Saka's the best winger.
Absolutely.
This is what always happens.
Is that not your mate, Adrian?
Huh?
Is he your mate? Talksport?
No,
saying he's wrong?
Get on well with Adrian, but yeah, it's fine. No worries. But this is
Saka
what
is
happens.
the
We
best
did it. We
winger.
did it.
Suppose
We
he's
did
not
it.
available for a game.
Yeah, no,
Then
that's
what?
fine. But the question is like, who's the best? And like, we're seeing Gordon's. We're seeing Gordon is doing well. He's not better than Bukayo Saka.
No.
No.
He's
No,
Not on the right side, but on the left side.
Madueke is doing well. He's not better than Bukayo Saka.
No, but you need competition for
I'm
places.
not saying. I'm
There's
not
injury,
saying.
loss
sorry,
of form,
sorry, I'm
things
not
like that.
saying that he can't have 100% if there's an injury or rotation. Absolutely, Madueke taking his chance. By the way, and I remember when he first came into Chelsea, I had a look at him for PSV. I went, not for me. And the improvement in him has been really good. So that shows you that how he's done well. But Saka is the best English winger. He's the most consistent
now.
And for the last.
Yeah,
he's been
probably the most important.
When all the big boy
players
players aren't showing
at
up,
times.
when
No, listen,
Bellingham's
I'm a
a bit off
massive
it,
fan of
Kane's a
Saka,
bit
as
off
you all
it.
know.
Saka.
But the
does his
benefit
job,
of what
does
I
it.
was just saying is that, you know, if you've got, let's say you've got a group stage, you don't have to necessarily play Saka in all three games. You might be able to you've got the luxury of picking and choosing who else can play in those positions
And
on
that
the
was
wing
exactly
or
my
up front.
point.
And
Yeah.
this is also the conversation about strikers as well. You know, I keep hearing this weird narrative about Harry Kane, right? Oh, we need a succession plan. Well, you've got multiple options to choose from. You've got someone like a Solanke, you've got someone like a Watkins.
But then that's where they're saying the
You
problem is
could-
that, Abby. They're
but
saying
but
actually
you've
the
got a
drop-off's
succession.
way too big. Actually,
Well,
Kane is still the best striker
Of course
we've got,
he
yeah?
is, and
but
of
by a
course he
mile.
is.
But actually, is he the best for the team? But then
Is
in
he
the
by
top,
a mile?
in the top levels,
Really? This
well, at the top
version?
level,
No, hold
Solanke
on.
and Watkins
Slow up.
can't see him.
This
Slow
version,
up.
is he
Ceiling
by a
time.
mile?
Yeah, you got to
Really?
talk about this version. That's what I'm saying. How he's playing now.
Not by a
for
mile.
What's a
England.
pass, though?
Because everyone's talking about what happened in the Euros.
Yeah, I know.
But he's still England's best striker.
Like, everyone can moan all they like, right, about Harry Kane that drops deep. Harry Kane has dropped deep for the last 6 years. If you've watched Harry Kane at club level or international level, he's done the same. I understand he might not always be the best option for England, but comes back to the same conversation we're having about Saka and about wingers. You have the luxury and the options. Yes, the drop-off is going to be different because you're talking about England's top all-time goal scorer here in Harry Kane. Also,
I'm not
one of
a
the best
detractor, by the way.
passes-
I want to make that
One of
clear.
the best passes of the ball as well. So, of course, the drop-off is going to be different if you put Ollie Watkins in or Solanke in. That's not to say both aren't good in their own right, but they're not Harry Kane.
No.
Like, for example, Anthony Gordon or whoever wouldn't be the same as having Saka because Saka is him in his own right. But you have the luxury, if you have a manager who is able to do so, get the best out of all the players that are there and utilise your squad.
Yeah.
This is what we've moaned
And
about
it also
for so
needs to be
long.
borne in mind that the likes of Ollie Watkins and Solanke are going to bring slightly different
Of
attributes.
course, they bring
Especially
different
what
things.
Kane would
We
do.
saw it in the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Euros,
Watkins
yeah,
going in
will
back.
So
tire-
what I'm saying is
Watkins will
those guys
tire
getting
out
an
a defence.
opportunity in the Nations League to show what they can
For
do
sure.
is very important.
For sure. There are obviously pros and cons of playing games like this, but I just feel that they're more like a friendly. But in terms of this narrative that what's the succession plan, or Harry Kane, they moan that he comes too deep. Well, you have the options there that if you have a manager that is able to get the best out of the squad and the players, he understands what he's trying to do with the squad, you can alternate and change. You don't always have to go with Harry Kane. You don't always have to go with Saka.
Plethora of options.
And just to round that off, the plethora, let's just go through them all and name them.
Can anyone actually spell that right?
Plethora.
Plethora.
Plethora, yeah. O-R-A.
Is it meant to be plethora or
Yeah.
plethora?
Either way.
I've only ever heard it as
Either way.
plethora.
Plethora.
But anyway,
Interesting.
round these up, right?
Go on.
Cole Palmer,
Yeah.
Saka,
Yeah.
Foden, Grealish, Madueke, Rashford, and this is including ones you could pick as well. Gordon. I'm looking
In
through.
order.
No,
Are you
this is
ranking
just how many there are.
Oh, right, okay.
Eze,
Yeah.
Spoiled for choice.
Embarrassment.
Also,
Jared Bowen, Morgan Rogers.
Also, they
pretty
don't-
sure
Jacob
there's
Ramsey
more
don't
as
even
well.
get in
Yeah.
the squad. He could probably
Yeah.
do a job
So
out
You
there.
don't
there's 10.
you don't also, even if you don't want to play with a striker, you don't actually always have to.
Exactly.
No.
No,
but I had this conversation with a lot of friends of mine. This current England, plethora of players, if you like,
Nice.
Well,
is as talented as I've witnessed.
Has this ever been?
And I'm a lot older than you guys.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
But mate, we say that though, but it's as talented as we remember. But the golden generation that was talented with like certified greats of the game, like some of these guys that we're seeing. This is not a disrespect. This is just me comparing areas. Yeah, like we're not seeing there's only a couple in contention to be like greats of the game. I hope that there's more, by the way. But we had a golden generation that talent was unreal. We had people like Andy Cole couldn't get a game, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? It's simple as that. You had people like Robbie Fowler couldn't play for England that much because Alan Shearer was just. So when we took Jermaine Defoe, like there are top level. Michael Carrick can't get a game. So it's like we have to be careful with how good we say. I think there is exciting youngsters coming through, but at the top world level or elite level, whether it's European Championships or World Cups, we don't know, because when we come up against the big nations, even under all the good work that Gareth Southgate did, when the ante got up to a top level, we got done.
But maybe
was that more to do with the manager than the person?
Well, we're going to find out.
Exactly.
We're going to find out.
Do you think Tuchel's going to win the World Cup?
Off the bat, mate, no.
I would say we've got more.
I hope so.
Well, of course.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you
my response to that
this will come
is
down
that
to
we've
the
got more of a
difference
chance with
between
Tuchel than we have with
I agree.
Southgate. Do you agree?
100%.
Say again. We've got a better chance.
In answer to your question, I
easy.
think we have more of a chance with
Easy to
Tuchel
say.
than we have with.
Because he's just
What if he gets to a semi? Would you keep him on?
I don't know, man.
Pause.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, just before we go into Man United chat, Ben White apparently open to returning. As we know, it was believed that him and Steve Holland had an altercation at an England camp in which Holland belittled him and questioned his ethic due to White's previous comments of him saying he doesn't like football. We know he can play centre-back, left-back, right-back, DM. It's not necessarily to say that England have needed him or have missed him since he's been away. You've got players that cover that, that back line. And loads of them, but would you be open to him coming back?
Absolutely, and I'm not saying it out of
Turned his back on his country, mate. Why should we allow back in now?
Sorry.
Turned his back on his country.
No,
Why
he didn't.
He
said
He
it.
refused
So
to be called up.
No, he's not turned his back on his country because he had an issue with the previous regime.
but why
if
can't
you
you
like
just
the
resolve
country,
that?
you go loud. Listen,
Shout me down or what?
between me and you, it's all right, but it's my country. I'll do
It's a
it.
privilege to play for England.
Has he ever said that he doesn't want to play for his country? He said he didn't want to
He's
play.
refused call-ups.
Yeah, because
So
of
that's
there's an
pretty
issue
much
with
that
him
then.
and one of the
Okay.
personnel under that Southgate regime. Now, we can argue as much as we want about should he have done this, should he have done that.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, Ben Wright, and I'm pretty sure you all agree, he's one of the best right backs, if not the best right back in the country.
Definitely not the best.
Okay, he's one of. He's one of, right?
one
So if he's then said to himself...
Medals on the table, Ben.
If he's announced that he wants to be back in the fold, I think Tuchel would be remiss of him not to include him back in.
I think he will get a fresh look in because it's fresh coaching staff, fresh manager, no problem. But this thing that he didn't turn his back on his country, he did. He did.
Absolutely.
The country was there. You're available selection. We want to select you.
Left the
You had
halfway
an
through.
argument, and I'm not saying you're wrong for having an argument or whatever. But from that, you did not
That is
want to
too
play.
simplistic a term.
But that's what happened.
Well, not,
He had an issue with
They still
the
wanted to
manager.
select him, Laurie, and he said no.
Laurie,
not
No,
while
it's
he
not-
said. That's
that
like
is-
if you had an argument
Yeah.
with AGT and you don't come here next week, and we're saying, well, the show's still going on, mate. You're turning your back on DR.
absolutely.
No.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Yes.
are you turning towards it to go to it, or are you turning
No,
away?
I'm
from
You're
it?
saying
saying
I'm not,
that-
I'm
I'm
not
sa-
coming in
no.
while AGT is here.
Yeah.
Can
That's what you're saying.
I just put my argument? I'm saying that I've got a problem.
context
Not that
is
I've got a
mad.
problem with
Yeah, but it's funny to use him because it's jokes.
But
enough.
if Jason, whoever, shout out to Jason by the way, says, look, I want you to come out. I want you to come on. I want you to come on.
Strays out here.
I want you to come on DR Sports.
Yeah.
And I say to Jason, I say, look, Jason, thanks, but I've got a big problem with AGT. I just can't work with
It's
it.
always been.
I want this to happen. Man.
Is that turning my back?
Manifested
No,
it,
hold
isn't
on, let me out.
Yeah.
If I say to Jason, I'd love to come on DR Sports, but I've got a serious problem with AGT. I've been on there before. He's disrespected
All right,
me.
it's just
I
an
don't
example,
like
mate. You
him.
don't need to
I don't have a working relationship. I'd rather not. Is that me turning my back on DR Sports, or is that me saying?
Well, yeah, because then,
because hang on,
think it is.
because
You're
when
doing
I
both.
leave, you'd be back on, won't you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
you're
you've
doing
turned
both.
it,
In
and now
that
you're back.
period,
I've got an issue with you.
So
No,
in
no,
that
no.
period,
No, but if I was
but you're
DR,
saying,
I would have said, you've just left me, mate. You think you're coming
yeah,
back?
and you're
No
saying,
chance.
you know what you're saying in that moment.
There's a
without
nuance
realising,
to this
You're
that you lot
saying,
are overlooking.
No, we're
No.
not. We're saying, what you're saying in that moment is that the problem in which you hold with AGT is bigger than your country.
Absolutely.
Or bigger than your employer
100%.
or whatever.
No, I'm saying that we can't
Move
work
on,
together.
deal with
So
it
for the
and move on,
benefit,
like an
But
adult.
hold on
No.
a sec. He doesn't need.
Okay.
He doesn't need to work. There's people you can avoid, right? I'm sure we all have in life. Work with people, come across people we don't necessarily like, but you show up for the job, you show up for whatever. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
In terms of England and representing your country, that is an honour, right? Whatever country you present or represent, sorry. So if you've turned that down, or you've gone home because you've had a spat, like none of us know what happened in that argument. Maybe it was deeper than we thought, but it's been kept very close
Clearly
to everyone's
it was.
chest. But if you've turned that down multiple times and you haven't even been like, do you know what? Let's put it to bed for the fact that I
the
want
better
to
good.
for the better good of playing for my country and showing up for my country and getting these call ups and caps. Just put it to bed, and move on, and then
Be mature,
Be
deal
mature
with
about
it
it.
and move
I
on.
think that
Yeah, you can make that argument.
I'm not even saying he shouldn't play now as well, by the way.
No, but
I'm just saying,
but-
let's say what
No,
that
but
was.
Would you have him
Can
back?
I
it
just
what it is.
respond to
Yeah, I
Abby's?
would.
Can I just respond to Abby's point?
But what's he going to do?
Everything
Tuchel
you
does
said
it,
there
he's gonna do it
is pretty much spot on. However, Ben White is on the record as saying that he loves playing for his country. He's actually said that. If you go and, I'm sure you've seen
It's
the
not
quotes.
more than the problem.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is,
I was arguing more.
I'm saying it looks to me that the problem he had with Holland was so deep that he felt that he couldn't
Yeah, I'm not
work
playing
with the
for you.
guy.
Okay, what-
so I think you need
put
to
it-
look
let
at
me-
it.
I'm
like-
not even saying, Rory, I haven't even said like, he's
Roy
wrong
Keane.
for. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be considered for selection now. What I'm saying is let's just not be afraid to call that
it is.
bit.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say that. At that moment, you had an argument, you felt disrespected, could be deeper, we don't know, no
You walked
problem.
away.
But you said, whilst you're there, I'm not playing for England. I'm
No,
not playing for
but I
England.
know people personally that have left employers because they didn't get on with certain
All right, so
people. in
Laurie,
your-
let's just
And
put
that's
this.
It's not
Hold
because they had a problem with the organisation.
Yeah, it's the individual.
They said, I cannot work with Flex,
But
so
that's
you know what, I'd
okay.
rather leave.
Let's put
But
this
we
in
can
Arsenal
call that
terms.
what it is, though.
Let's just wait. Let's put this in Arsenal terms, okay?
Right.
Bukayo Saka, for example, Declan Rice, whoever, has an issue with Mikel Arteta or his number two,
Win.
right? Or win the dog, right?
Shouting his dog.
And then Bukayo Saka, Rice, whoever says, I'm not doing that as long as he's there. I'm not showing up for you. I'm not playing. As an
has that
Arsenal
right.
fan, you'd be chilled about it, would you? As an
I'm not
Arsenal
saying I'd be
fan,
chilled about it.
you'd
What I'm
say-
saying is
and then
what-
all of a sudden, let's say it was to do with Edu, let's say just
Okay.
for argument's sake, because he's now gone. Let's say they had a problem with Edu, and they said, as long as Edu's here, I'm not playing anymore for this. I'm not playing for Arsenal. And then now Edu's gone, they're like, yep, put him back in the team. Want to be here? How would you feel about that?
Well, that's a good question. However, what I would
Buy
say is
us out
that
of
if
it.
it was, listen, we can't get inside Ben White's mind, right? He had an issue
Agreed.
with Ben Holland.
Neither can football.
Steve Holland, so much so that he felt it necessary to disassociate himself for England from that time. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't necessarily look at it as him turning his back on England. He had an issue with a guy. He felt that he couldn't work with him. So what he's done is he's extricated himself from that problem.
Halfway through the
We
camp.
cannot say, us lot, with any real confidence that he's turned his back on England. No, to me, it could be that he does.
It has been very hush hush though. Not a lot has come out about this. This is
Probably
Yeah,
it should be,
speculate.
really.
I don't mind
No,
that.
I don't
Should
mind
be
it.
personal.
So if he,
But what's
so
the
if he then
difference between
subsequently
this?
announces that he wants to come back into the fold,
I don't mind him
yeah,
coming
but
back.
Laurie,
I don't mind
people
him
have a
coming back.
problem.
I had look at Roy
68%
Keane.
of people don't have a
Roy
problem.
Keane,
with it.
left South
think he
Korea
should
and
be allowed
Japan
back.
halfway through the camp
60
after a
people,
big falling
60%
out with
saying he
Mick
should come
McCarthy. Mick McCarthy left Ireland and then he came back to play for Ireland after.
Look at Flex will tell you. Well, you guys know Leon Bailey had a massive problem.
he's
Now
back.
he's back in.
He's back.
Yeah.
Steve McLaren's
And
there
I was-
sealing the top.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very Flex will know because we had these conversations. We had
Yeah, and I said
was
to you, I
very
was like,
critical
listen,
of Leon Bailey, not because he had the
FA's
problem with
mash-up.
no, but not because he had the problem with. It's the way he conducted himself.
There's ways that you
Ben
do
White
things.
did not come out and say, "I'm never going to play for England because of
Yeah.
this and that," and
But
slagged
it's
off the
different
whole
with the
structure.
FA in Jamaica though, because he's basically trying to highlight
Yeah.
the failings in it, and like we can't get taken seriously if we don't act in a professional manner. Talking about not getting booked flights, there's no security for us. We just that's a bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
but
yeah,
I get your point, and I don't think there's a problem with Ben White coming back. By the way,
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
I
saying
think
that there's
it's
a
fine. I just
nuance to
think-
this that we
and
shouldn't
most people
overlook.
Most people have voted on this, and basically 60%.
I literally could
I've said
care.
he
I
should
could
come
care
back.
less if Ben White is in or out of the squad. In all honesty, but I think it's fair that we do call out that what happened.
60% say he should be back.
But he did refuse to play for England.
that
Yeah,
is
but
We
why?
can talk about the reason.
No, but
there's a reason why he did.
The fact is, he
But the
did.
fact is, he
It doesn't
refused
matter about
to-
why.
That's it.
The fact is,
No,
he
but I
still
was
did.
responding to
But he might be
Flex's
back.
saying that he turned his back on his country. I don't think that's the
he went
case.
home.
Listen, we
I
can.
think
It's
he went home.
at this
There's
point,
a
it's
nuance there
tomato,
that I hope
tomato,
you
isn't it,
understand.
at this
You
point?
do get what I'm saying.
I get what
right?
you're trying to say. I just think that you're allowed to say he turned his back on England, didn't want to play for him in that moment because he didn't like Steve Holland. That's it.
There we go.
And now Steve Holland's gone,
saying you're
and
allowed
now he's
to
not
say
turning his
different.
Now he
back.
wants to.
No,
Now he
big
wants to
up.
play then.
But yeah,
So
okay.
we'll see if he comes back in the next international break in March.
Trent's going to play anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Big him up.
it's just going to be
After
that
all
talk. He can come back and warm the bench.
That's it, man.
But he is good though. He should be.
Other results include Portugal 5, Holland 1, Ronaldo getting a couple. I think he's on 130.
Saw the
goals
overhead
now,
kick.
so
That
it's
was
ridiculous.
a proper goal. that.
Still going. Scotland beating Croatia.
Yeah,
We
That's
got
good
10-man
result.
Croatia.
Ben Doak smoking Vardiol on that right wing, 17-year-old. At Middlesbrough on loan from Liverpool. Ireland obviously
It's a long time coming, that win
5-0.
for Scotland, wasn't it?
100%. And France 3-1 against Italy last night. Konate and Saliba playing at the back for France, mate, with Konate captain. That is going to be... No, it was.
You had to do it,
No,
didn't
it
you?
was. He was.
You just had to do
Ask
that.
Deschamps, who's the better leader.
Should Mbappe be allowed to play back? Come back when Deschamps.
I don't want to talk on that because I think there's probably some reasons that we're probably not aware of why he's not in the squad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's mad. But yeah, moving on. That was the international break. Let us know. Did you rate it? Did you hate it?
New Spurs logo.
New one coming up in March. Right, let's do the super chats before we then speak
Add a trophy.
about Ruben Amorim and the era that might begin this week with his trip to Ipswich.
So bear with me. Fabrizio Romano, I think, has just announced that Tottenham got a new logo
Oh, brilliant.
or something. So
saw
I was trying to see if maybe it might have a trophy in it. Or
Still a
something.
Do you know one of my
cock and balls, is it?
favourites?
Oh look, they don't. Oh, they're trying to reduce you.
Let's see.
They've taken off Tottenham Hotspur.
It's
It's just a chicken.
Wait,
Oh my word. No, it's the cockerel. They've
You're just a
taken off
cockerel.
Tottenham Hotspur.
They don't even want to talk to you
let
by
me
name.
read it. We have removed the curved Tottenham Hotspur text from beneath the cockerel. This enables us to increase its scale across different environments and stand proud as a true icon from the club. Bro, I could.
Really?
Who gives a toss about that?
care?
Why don't you actually just start winning some games and learn how to defend?
Wait, breaking news.
Do what you want.
Do
what you
we'll
want
go
with
to
the
Man
logo.
United in 2 seconds, AG. Sorry. We
Do I
need
care that
Abby's
take
thoughts on this.
what?
Tottenham fans, get involved in the comments. This is a big thing. Your whole club identity has just been changed. And Fabrizio Romano is bringing us this news. Now, there is no longer the words Tottenham Hotspur on the badge. It has been removed. You've been simplified. Abby, how does
a
that make
cock
you
and ball.
feel?
I'll be honest with you. It's probably because Daniel Levy don't want to pay for the text. It's probably an extra £5 for
the
each
printers.
letter. Trust
Yeah.
me, if you go and get names on the back of your shirt at
simplified.
at Tottenham, it costs you a
You
fortune,
got no
mate.
words.
Yeah, it's just he don't want to pay for the text.
Wait.
Enlarged font.
That's wild.
So you're
though.
just a chicken then?
Just chicken
No,
on
it's
a
a
ball, mate.
cockerel.
Cockerel. Same
Cockerel.
thing, isn't it?
Cock and ball.
I'm
You're just
not
a
saying
big
it.
cockerel.
Just a big, yeah. So are you.
Different tones. Different tone.
So are
I
you,
mean, the
mate.
navy's a bit different as well.
No, it's just curved.
Hit a bit different. Prefer that.
Does it hit different, or it all hits different? It really hits different. I could give a toss.
Do you think that will make
I
you?
don't think
do you think
Abby's
that
a
will make
fan.
you more?
Or maybe it makes us more competitive. We can use that money that was going on the lettering into the transfer.
Do you think they should have done that? Because you're trying to
Like
get
Richarlison
they're trying to
again.
get their global reach so more people know who they are. If you're in a different country and you ain't
just
heard of
think,
Spurs,
oh, look,
you
there's
ain't gonna
a-
know.
there's an
I think that's
animal.
very arrogant of Spurs to expect people to know who they are without the text.
We're
Yeah.
Big Six. You should know us.
That's rude, you know.
Yeah. No,
That means Daniel Levy's he's basically deluded. He thinks that around the world we're so big, don't need to put name on it, mate.
Listen,
no, you do.
we can do that. Take
Yeah.
off the,
Didn't
just
need,
live
didn't
a
need
bird.
that. How many
but-
other cock on a ball is there?
Basically, this is just a logo game.
How many
No,
other
but that could just
cocks
be a
on a ball is
picture
there?
of a zoo where
Okay.
a cockerel's playing with a
The
football.
Gamecocks in America, I went
Yeah.
there.
This is, yeah.
They're bigger than you. And they're in
Cockerel's doing
college.
kick-ups.
They're in
Yeah, you
college.
might
it's
think
the
it's San
Tottenham
Antonio
logo.
Spurs
Oh, is
now.
it?
Who
Yeah.
knows?
All right,
Who knows?
moving on.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that breaking news.
So look, there you
Thanks,
go.
Flex.
Do you want to
Brilliant.
save that as screensaver?
Oh yeah, I'll put it as my background.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
thanks.
Just
stuff.
remember
Are you done?
When you get a shirt, it's not going to say the name on it.
That's okay.
Beautiful stuff. Jad
I won't give back to the transfer fund anyway.
G. Vanadan says to all the panelists, if you could take one player off your fiercest rival, who would it be? To Abby, who should be the replacement for Big Ange? So pick
That
a
new
Tottenham
logo.
player you'd have, please.
Get that new logo in.
That's difficult. Man.
Someone said it's just a
Because their
Nando's
best player
logo.
is
Pretty much.
You don't get
pretty much over the hill. man.
It's just
Son.
a Nando's
Yeah, so you
logo.
go, son.
They took the name off.
Yeah, you go.
They
I would,
simplified
yeah,
you.
yeah.
We don't want to pay
Coming
for
like
the
a game in a
lettering.
cube.
No,
Simplified.
He
I
don't
was
want
going to
to
say
pay
Van
for
der
it.
Ven, but then maybe not. because our
So
back
Son.
two is so.
So I'll pick
But he's
someone
over the
from
hill, though.
United. I'll go
Who?
What'd you have to do?
Son.
Cobby.
What'd you have to
You-
do?
oh, you take
Picking a
Son.
player off your fiercest rival.
Oh.
Cobby.
Oh, I'd have.
I would have said Van der Ven, but we're all right for back two.
Part of me would like to say Saliba because I feel like maybe Saliba and Mickey Van der Ven would be a nice
would be good.
partnership
That would be.
together. But would like Saka. So
Fair enough. Can't have it all.
Bad.
Ben White.
no thanks. I think I'd take Saliba. Saliba.
I could see why.
Who you taking from us?
100%.
Bloody hell.
Just take your pick.
I mean, Salah's age, though, isn't it? Just
Doesn't
to
matter.
have him, Salah's obviously the obvious one, but
I'll take Salah
Van
for
Dijk
sure.
if you want. You know what I mean?
Oh, the same
Alisson.
predicament, isn't it?
Any of them,
Oh
to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Trent.
Mate.
Yeah.
Trent.
Anyone see
Are we
Vicario
saying
second?
Ange to next to be sacked? Dusty Club, says Ronnie Dog.
Well, over the weekend, Dusty Club. Over the weekend, there was, the standard propaganda that's now going to be coming out. Oh, he's fallen out with a few dressing room, people, whether that's a doggy or Madison, etc.
And so he should. after that loss for
So yeah, there's the standard things that come out. I was talking about it last week at home, and like we were saying, the next steps probably for Ange, it'll be these type of dressing room leaks and how the media pick up on things. And this was on Friday. We had this conversation, and Saturday this leaked. So what?
Matisse, sorry. Matisse has commented on Fabrizio Romano's post about the logo. Sorry, I know we don't care about it, but it's just because it's Matisse and he's relevant to the show.
Yeah.
He says, would have got rid of the chicken and the bull. Most other clubs' animal choice strike a bit of fear.
Wow.
Yes.
Change up the whole animal.
Sorry, but carry on.
No, it's all right. Cool. I do like that someone called us Nando's FC. So
big 'em up.
that's what we are.
Still
Tom
shit,
says,
won't win them a trophy. New logo, but will remain trophyless
Right,
for
I'm
another
just
100
going to have
years.
to start clapping back at some of these.
They
things.
removed
Okay,
the
cool.
name out of
Okay.
the shame. Gone from trophyless to nameless.
Who do I think will be the next one after Ange? I absolutely don't know.
Brilliant. Tom
absolutely
says
don't
Curtis
know.
Jones is becoming a serious player, by the way, and Doak smoking Vardiol was the best winger display. Red Square says Ben Wright refused to be bullied by a coach in front of his peers. Did people expect him to just take it? People have agendas because it's Arsenal. Blaze A says, so in a situation of the draft, you can choose to reject. What is the ridiculous defence of Ben White, Saka and Rashford still played after racist abuse as well? It's the opinion
what's
of
that
Blaze
got to
A.
do?
I don't know.
It's a totally
Tanishk
different-
says, Courtois is literally pulling a Ben White right now. Why didn't England sack Holland? Can go either way, says Red Square. I know, but a player can't have the power to get an assistant manager sacked, really. Exiling yourself is exiling yourself is the self-imposed retirement, says Tom.
Clearly not.
What, because he's back in with a chance?
Sai says, don't worry, folks, you won't miss White that much. You have the speedy Kyle Walker to look forward to, right? Well, Robbie seems to think he's still the man at right back. Did AGT and Abby go to school together, says John 3.
It's weird. We never mention it.
Yeah, it's crazy, that, isn't it?
It's never mentioned before.
Shield Jolly says, Holland could have insulted his mother for all we know. Why do people immediately criticise him instead of... I mean, he's not insulted his mother. Come on, I think we can say that.
No, but I think the point that the person is trying to make is that you don't
We don't know.
the depth
Yeah,
of how-
100 and we haven't
he's
questioned
right.
that. We haven't
But he's
questioned
not done the whole your mum line. No, surely not. Precise Science says, talk about Bentancur ban we have at the start of the show. So if you want to hear that, go back. What does the Premier League trophy and Tottenham's new logo have in common? The words Tottenham Hotspur are missing on both,
It's quite
says
good, that.
Stephen Island's grandmother. Blaze A says, stop comparing England call-ups to ordinary jobs. There's people in the Championship who would do anything just to get the one call-up with people they hate. No excuses, says Blaze. And then Balachanda says, hey, Abby, Spurs fan from India. I've passed my subjects and cleared my semester.
Congratulations. Stay
But
in school.
Vicario's performance
Oh,
has
yeah.
made me depressed again. Boys.
Kenya texted me
get
saying
back to school then.
over the weekend. She was like, "Did you see what Vicario did
What
for
did he
Italy?
It's an own goal. wasn't it?
Well, he done a madness.
Just being Vicario, just slapping.
Thought he was good. Remember, cheap signing.
Yeah, you know what? Life comes
Brilliant.
in fast. Life comes
Thought
in
Madison,
fast.
perfect, wicked.
Want to
Perfect,
delve into some
wicked.
of
No,
your signings?
just
No,
Arsenal.
want to do
They
that.
brought us
shall we?
trophies, mate. They brought us some form
Are
of
we going to
success.
do a new preview before our cup game?
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
Cool,
when's
can't
that?
wait.
That's coming up, isn't it?
19th of December.
Oh, can't
Yeah.
wait for that, these
So-
two.
Week beginning,
We're
or whatever
aiming,
that-
we're
Can't
aiming
wait
to
for
be
that,
there. We're
mate.
aiming to bring you some great
That's
content,
going to be fantastic.
aren't we?
And Jason.
Just before we round off this
Capture it
bit
all.
and we move on to the United chat, got a shout out to my guy Jimmy G, who's in the chat. He was driving around New York last night, drove past a Mexican restaurant in New York, and on the screen, Cop TV was playing.
No way.
Yeah, and he
Mad.
sent me a video of it, and he said, "Big up, bro. I've just had to spin
randomly
the block
just-
again because I was like, I had
That's
to get a
sick.
video of it."
World
and he
wide
zoomed
reach,
in,
man.
bro,
Well done.
and it was there. And he's a Colombian that lives in New York, big Liverpool fan, Lucho Diaz. So saludos desde los Estados Unidos, mi hermano. Vamos, chico, eh?
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%. Big him up. He's in the chat right now. Right then, Ruben Amorim. Before we actually get into that, we must remind you, because there's some big games coming up this weekend, that our friends at FairPlay are offering new users who download the FairPlay app a 1-week entry to the Jackpot 7s. If you're going to do it at any point, trust me, do it this week. So it's going to be the biggest prize pot ever. And to receive your free entry credit, it's the code JACKPOT when you sign up in caps lock, all one word, jackpot. On Monday's show, as we know, we found out that Flex won the weekly prize pot's biggest share, £550. I know, it's £549.50 to be precise. You could win this too, because as I said, it's going to be the biggest one ever, as there's been so much time in the international break to get your predictions in. We have the next set of the Jackpot 7 fixtures for you guys on the screen now. So these are the games we're going to be focusing on. These are the games to make your predictions for. Who do you fancy in these games? We have Bournemouth Bournemouth at home to Brighton, Villa Palace, Arsenal Forest, big game for the Gunners.
Massive game.
Manchester City versus Spurs. What
Massive
a game
game.
that's going to be. Southampton versus Liverpool. Ipswich, the Tractor Boys, as you saw in Best of Enemies. Round of
Epic.
applause, by the way, for production. That was
I don't know if
incredible.
there's any budget left to do
There's none.
anything else
Hey.
for the rest of the
Oh
season.
no, there
but
will be. We'll find the budget.
you.
You better hope that you don't lose to Ipswich. This is actually more for KG.
But anyway, Abby,
But
remember,
you will hold it to
Abby,
him.
I wasn't
do
sitting on the
remember
tractor, was
that you can enter this new game week today, as it's open on the app,
friggin'
Abby,
You,
isn't it?
you do
And you
realise,
can-
What?
Flex, that if you guys
So
slip up
mouthy.
to Ipswich, it'll be
Caught up in
it'll
the-
be
What
more
do you call it?
embarrassing
Poetic,
than
ironic?
Tottenham's.
It'd be crazy.
Poetic
wouldn't it?
justice, yeah.
No, it wouldn't be as bad as Tottenham.
it would
Tottenham's
be
at home.
worse.
Tottenham's at home in
That's
their own
true.
patch. What are you
but
talking
we're
about?
Just remember, guys,
With the
Laurie,
Amorim factor.
What do you mean?
the
They got a
rest
draw
of it.
against. They got a draw against Aston Villa there, 2-2. You know what I mean? Give you a run for your money in the first
yeah,
half.
1-2-0 though.
They went to their place.
Don't
their
forget
yard.
though, guys,
And guess what? We went to
700k up for
your
grabs,
yard.
5
Went
minimum
your
prize
yard.
pot
He's
winners,
trying to do reach.
right? Come on, 18
You've
plus
been quite
UK QR code on the screen. We'll be previewing all of these games and more in depth on the Thursday show as well, so don't forget that. Right, Ruben Amorim, first 5 games, Ipswich away, Bodo Glimt at home, Arsenal at home, Everton at home, Arsenal away, Forest at home. What are your expectations for these first 5 games, and who do you think will shine now under Amorim,
Hard to work that one out.
if any?
There's a few players who you look at the system, you look at the manager's style, and you go, you know what, that will really suit player X. So I think with the 3 centre halves that we've got, I think they'll be fine. In Yoro, Martinez, De Ligt, that looks like quite a
Is he
complimentary.
back now, Euro?
Yeah, he is. He's back in full team
Because I
training.
must say he did look good before the
Yeah,
injury out.
he only played 1.5 games for us, but obviously had a great season. With he hasn't played a competitive game, so it looks good with the centre halves. You already got Ugarte, who's just played under this manager year before last and got the best out of him, so he's going to be important. In them 10 positions behind the striker, it's not a natural fit for Rashford. It's not a natural fit for Garnacho, but it is a natural fit for Ahmad. It is a natural fit for Bruno. It would be a natural fit for Mason Mount. Kobe Mainu alongside either Ugarte or Casemiro as a 2. That works. Wing backs, Mazraoui's played wing back many times in his career. Either side, very comfortable. We've seen he's comfortable both sides. Dalot, if you're going to change him into a right wing back, probably would be all right with that. So, look, it's not easy to pinpoint exactly who's going to shine. But what I want to see, of course, we have to win games, innit? You have to. But at the end of the day, he's going to be afforded time because he's coming in November, no transfer window, and he has to just work with what he's got. So no problems with that. And from what I really liked about his in-house interview with the club, some of the things he said, some of the key points I took away was, I can guarantee you will see an idea straight from day one. He says you might not like that idea straight away, etc., but you will see it. And like you said, there, you see identity, and that's what we've been missing. I think it's easy to criticize someone like we did with Ten Hag because he abandoned his principles very, very early and never went back to it. And then what he was trying to do, what we was trying to work out, wasn't working. So you can say, well, what is this? You will immediately earn time. And I'm not even trying to just throw shade. Like, look at Spurs. Yeah. When Ange showed you guys straight away from day one, this is how we want to play.
And also, I think
that's why there's a lot more patience.
That's what bought time.
That's what buys you time. And of course, if results catch up with you if they don't go up with a rate faster than the results, then they catch up and supersede, and then you're in trouble. He's
Do you think he should have kept Rude on?
No, absolutely not. I think it's the old regime probably would have kept Rude there. You know, I think when you're there's a new manager, he's bringing all his coaches with him. And what's best for Rude and the club? Like, Ruud van Nistelrooy's got aspirations of being a manager himself. He wants to be in the hot seat. You can't say to Ruud van Nistelrooy now, I'll tell you what, just go and be a striker coach because, it's not really a job for you here now. Nah, if there's not the job for him, that is what he's there for. Just because he's a club legend, you don't just keep him around.
No, I agree.
So I think that was the right decision.
I think that's actually probably where, not that you've gone wrong in the past, but like there's a lot of nostalgia around Manchester United. Like even like keeping someone like Sir Alex like very, very involved in the club, which of course I understand, but can a manager or a team ever really move forward when it's always reminded of the past?
Well, to be fair, Sir Alex's thing's a bit different because he weren't involved. He's not at the board level where he's making decisions. He's not.
But
he's always going to be at games because he's got the keys. Like he's allowed to rock up to any game, be in the Sir Alex Ferguson in the Bobby Charlton stand and watch games. Like because of who he is, he's always just gonna do that. But the ambassadorial role, 100%, like they're kind of taking a step away from that. No problem. It is what it is.
What did you think when you saw the picture of Amorim and his mates rolling through Manchester with the Monclizzy, with the walking
hood
boots,
up, bro? Hood up.
Fleece,
it's different now, bro.
Hood-rich tracksuits,
bro. I said to KG, I said, listen, gonna have to start stepping up when I go to the pressers, mate. Got to get the drip right.
Are you older than your new manager now?
No, he's only a couple of years older than me. How mad is that?
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Is he 39?
39.
Yeah.
Wow.
How mad is that?
That is
I'm
crazy.
about to turn 37. So
I must say, he does look quite an impressive individual. And if you look
Speaks really well.
He speaks really well. We've needed that. But I have said this. I said, because it's been crap, I'll do the excitement bit now. Like, he's in the drip. He got Valentino hoodie. Look at the Pradas here. Because I could, when the game start, listen.
Don't talk about the drip no more.
That's what you'll be, if you lose a game, you'll be saying, look, he's spending too much time.
Yeah, it will flip. You just know the narratives are there. But,
too much time in self.
But honestly, I've
Get out
learned.
of flannels, mate.
Yeah.
I've learned, because also what I'm not doing, because I will do it, I will always do it to defend my club and my manager against like you lot.
Obviously.
Which is what you're meant to do. I'm not having none of that. Yeah. But honestly, I swear to you, I'm more on like, I'm not doing the whole thing of finally we got that, you lot hold that weight now 3-4-3. You're not. I'm not doing
KG
none of that.
will do that for you.
Just let him
KG
whatever.
yeah.
Even he's saying that. But the difference is though, there's like you said, it's a tough start. The first 3 games are all right, but in like the first couple of months, got to go Emirates really soon. Got to go to you in the Carabao Cup. Got to go Man City. You straight away in
January the 5th,
in January.
Anfield.
And I think there's one
tests.
more. But there's big tests, right?
Who won tests?
Let me tell you something now.
We
haven't beat a big 16. Aston Villa, them man don't really count. I mean, certified like.
Ooh.
Dan Baldana. No, because I'm angry with Dan. He tried to tell me that no one gets players. I'm not going into that. So like, because we've beat Villa away. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about Chelsea, you, Liverpool, Arsenal. We ain't done it, City. If he rocks up at the Emirates, which is the day after my birthday,
I hope you do,
and gives me a W in the league, I'm gonna be different.
You're sold.
Roger, we've seen you be different.
No, but it's gonna be bad.
We've seen you walk around London with an FA Cup.
Correct. Yeah.
We've seen you.
Winner, mate.
We've seen you
that's
behave
pinnacle
this way.
football, though.
We've seen you
Oldest
behave
trophy,
this way.
isn't it?
But it's not like it's going to be a
What's
shock.
wrong with the FA Cup?
We've
That's
seen
what I'm saying.
We've seen
Speaking
you
as a club who's
walk around.
won it 14
London.
What would you do if you won a cup? What would you?
Oh yeah, like I'll hire my own bus. Yeah,
exactly.
I'll be doing my own.
6-2-6-3.
Won the FA Cup, mate. When you all told me I wouldn't.
Catch me down this high road, honestly. If we ever win
2-6-3.
something. Catch me down
Holloway
this
Road.
high road.
18 bus Harsden and the N18 at night. That's me.
We know that he's not going to probably have the same budget as an Eric Ten Hag in the January window, maybe even in the summer window. He's just going to have to get on with it. Turn around players like Xerxes, whose confidence seems shot. He's not even in the Netherlands squad. You know, Højlund as well. So he's got a lot to do.
Rashford as well.
A lot to do. And obviously
That's probably
Rashford,
one of his biggest projects.
can he put him as a number 9 maybe?
100%. A lot of most Man United fans. This is an interesting.
And talking of drip, what was that he had on at the weekend, by the way?
The Knicks game.
Yeah,
Rashford.
Yeah.
What was that, man?
Oh, I think it was a Louis Vuitton hoodie.
Yeah, but what
with,
was it though, bro?
loads
Come on.
of,
My mum always used to
VVS.
bless.
it's a bit like your
Bless
chain,
her
you had
soul.
on. That's what you had.
Bless her soul.
You know what I mean?
My mum always used to say, this is a Jamaican term that I'm sure you're familiar with. and everything you see, you must wear.
Yeah.
So just because it's Louis Vuitton,
That's what the footballers do. I'm not on
Louder.
it. I'm not on it.
Louder.
But
He's
what
got
is it
LV.
you say, though,
You've
when the
got
young
LL,
boys-
mate.
Yeah.
Hey.
When the young, what is it though you do say? When the young boys are making their money and doing their thing, go live your life, Bridget. You've earned
Yeah,
it. Like,
live your
that's
best life. But
Cool.
just
I'm not on that.
Just
But
cool, no.
I always think the thing for me is I always think Rashi looks a bit like not forced when he wears it. Like it don't come natural.
Yeah, he got the
like you know
swag.
certain men who wear like big jewels and all that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're meant to have that.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
Rashi's like.
Like,
Okay, you got mad
you ain't
bread, so
that
you
guy,
can,
pal.
but it don't
ain't
don't.
that
yeah,
hang the
you're
same,
right.
Like,
He comes across as that kind of.
like don't. It
I
don't.
know what you
No,
mean, though.
you're right. He
I know
comes
what you
across as that goofy kid that came into a lot of money, and now he's just trying to show everyone.
Do you know what I mean?
Ripping
But
Rashford.
listen, I'm not one of. But what I wasn't though doing, which I didn't like, because Rashford can't win. I will stick up for him for this. He's been terrible on the pitch and needs to find his form. And I think look, in the long run, it's probably best that he moves on. But I will stick up for him in this because he can't win. The guy posts training videos trying to work his nuts off to get back to where he wants to be,
America.
and everyone goes, "Oh, I'll do that on the pitch, PR merchant." Then the guy doesn't post that and goes, "I'm just gonna like go out." Like, you're allowed to go to the NBA. He's a big superstar. He's gonna be
I
front
think it's that
court.
picture when he's doing that and he's
Enjoying my life, and then they cuss him for that. But then he's also put up training from this same thing.
And you have to
And,
big him up
so
equally. Yeah,
it just-
you have to.
He can't win, so I'm
Listen,
not really
there's a
interested.
very
I
good
just
player
want to
in
see
there.
it on the pitch.
Yeah, there's a very good player in there, but some of his off-the-field decisions do kind of call into question. So.
Listen, he's got everything. He's got a big contract. He's got the P's. I get everything you want, Rash. You've got no problem with that. I just want to see him find himself on the pitch.
Sure.
Because actually, thinking back to Leicester last Sunday, like I said, we all felt sorry for him.
To be fair,
He
it's
just
ever
looked so
since
off it.
Cecil became his body double.
There you go. I think it's still
not
Cecil
been
playing.
great.
He's
That's
like
it.
playing like Cecil. Yeah.
Scored 5 and 5, Cecil. What do you mean? Big him up. Listen, a couple super chats before we round off the show. John 3 says, prayers for Amorim this season. He needs a miracle. Blaze says, so Amorim, has he given his era's come to an end quote?
No.
Has he given us anything to dangle
He was
with?
He was a lot better than that. That's why he said I can't promise.
quotes.
He goes, I'd love to say to you, I can promise beautiful football,
Yeah.
but I can't promise that right now. I'll promise you an idea, an identity, and
Sounds
you will see
like
it from day
pragmatism
one.
to
But
me.
no, but you can buy
No,
into an
there
it
you
sounds
go.
like realism.
There you go, mate.
Interesting.
And we'll see. The
I like the
Amorim
semantics
era
there.
starts. Sunday
One man's
4:30, innit?
pragmatism is another man's realism.
Realism.
What would you like him to say as a rival?
Listen,
Gonna win it all.
Listen,
Gonna win it all, mate.
You want him to
As I've said, he
give
looks
you the
like a
soundbite
very-
so you can laugh at him.
I've said
Gana todo.
he looks like a very impressive guy. If you look at his body of work, it's very good. 2 Premier League titles. He actually got the better of Pep and Arteta recently.
Yes.
So listen, man, I think he's a
You've
welcome
got
addition
Sporting soon,
to
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Make them beat you even without that manager, and then let us come to Emirates and that'll just be.
Quickly before we end,
I hope so.
Flex.
Please rise. No.
Quickly before we end, Pog back.
No, I
What?
this is stupid. I'm glad it's gone out already, and Fabrizio come out and said he's not training at United at all. So, but I was arguing with KG about this because KG's like, yeah, Luke Shaw, I've had enough. Like, always injured. Fair play, same. Pogba, mate, before he even got the ban at Juventus, he didn't play. He was injured all the time, and in
Yeah.
his last season at United, like the revisionism that and this is where people laugh at us. I love Paul Pogba as a person. I do think he was harshly treated. I think he has been extremely talented in his career. The consistency weren't always his fault, and I do feel like he was scapegoated a lot of the time. But I can't hand on my heart be like, that was then, this is now, bring him back, he's the answer. It's
You
total
never go back.
Foolishness.
Or very rarely.
Foolishness.
Never go back.
Foolishness, mate.
Ridiculous.
No, it's not going to happen, is it? Shout out to everyone who's locked into the show today. Don't forget
Voted for
to
myself as
enter the
MVP.
Jackpot 7's new game week today on the FairPlay app, and you can update your predictions all through the international break. Download it by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. FairPlay are offering new users, as you know, who download the app with us, a sign up of a free 1 week entry to the Jackpot 7s using the promo code Jackpot. Don't forget, as you know, £700,000 up for grabs if you get all 7 predictions correct, as well as the weekly minimum prize pot of at least £500. But this next prize pot should, I'm not making any guarantees, but it should maybe even be double that with the time that we've had over the international break to build that pot up. Flex obviously took home 550 quid last week,
Shut up
so
again.
you must give it a go. And as you know, you can download it with the QR code or the link in the description. You have to be in the UK. You have to be over 18, and please gamble responsibly. Any more super chats? 2 more. If Son, has Son wasted his career at Spurs? Says King Gov. I would say potentially. Also, Wayne Rooney and Plymouth are to be the subject of a new documentary. So looking forward to seeing that. Are you?
Is he even going to last?
I don't know, mate. And the last one from Sai says there's about 9 teams in for Pogba. So we'll see where he ends up. MVP of the week. At the minute, it's Flex.
Wow.
Second place is myself again.
Who you paying?
Abby and then Laurie at the minute. Have we got sausage of the week?
Oh, let me guess.
We'll just give it to Abby, shall we?
Well, yeah.
2 in a row.
Can't get enough of it.
Your club badge got changed live on air, mate.
Yeah,
Can't get enough of it, mate.
No, that is a sausage.
Give me all the sausages, okay?
Oh, easy.
Pause.
Anyway, right. International break is done for England. There's obviously some more games during the week, and I'm sure we'll speak about them on Thursday. But the Premier League is back for a 4-month period now, people, until March. Join us on Thursday. Don't go anywhere. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Don't go anywhere.